Putrajaya has invited the remaining 4 telcos to increase their equity participation in state-owned Digital Nasional or DNB for Malaysia's 5G rollout following the withdrawal of Maxis and U Mobile from the program. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the government will not increase its 30% stake in DNB, and it hopes that the 4 would take up the shares initially offered to Maxis and U Mobile. The 6 telcos were initially offered an 11.67% stake each under a share subscription agreement with DNB. The shareholding under the deal has now changed, and the ministry hopes to conclude the process in 2 weeks' time. According to Zafrul, Telekom Malaysia on behalf of Unify Mobile and YTL Communications on behalf of Yes have already firmed up their share subscription agreements. At the time of writing, it is still unclear if these 2 players have increased or maintained their stakes in DNB. Zafrul added that Axiata Group, via Celcom Axiata and Digi.com, upon their merger, will only be allowed to hold a maximum 25% stake in the 5G agency. He also said that the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia has suggested opening up the stakes declined by Maxis and U Mobile to foreign operators, and that the decision would be left entirely to Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa. Proton Holdings notched its best sales month since July 2013, with 15,880 units delivered last month as production volume continued to recover from a slow start to the year. The national car maker said today that for the first 8 months of the year, it has registered 87,481 units, compared to 62,637 units in 2021, an increase of 39.7%. With regard to the national automotive sales table, Proton said it retains second position and achieved an estimated market share of 23.7% for August, while its year-to-date market share climbed to 19.5%. It said the estimated total industry volume for August is 66,900 units, 36.7% higher than the previous month. The car maker's position at the top of the SUV segment remains unchallenged, with 4,329 X50 units delivered in August. The X70 backed up the performance with 1,555 units, retaining its position as sales leader for C-segment SUVs. Proton has now sold 37,489 SUVs in the first 8 months of 2022. Its Deputy Chief Executive Roslan Abdullah said, with 4 months to go in 2022, its production operations have stabilised, and the car maker is now looking to increase the number of delivery trucks by over 100% by year-end. Meanwhile, export sales have hit a near 10-year high, and more volume growth is expected later this year, with Proton's official relaunch in South Africa scheduled this month. Sabah Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Sri Bong Mokhtar Radin and his wife Datin Sri Zizi Izzat Abdul Samad have been ordered to enter their defence in their corruption case involving 2.8 million ringgit related to a Felcra investment. Sessions Court Judge Rosina Ayub said she is satisfied that the prosecution had established a prima facie case against them and also proven that the funds were obtained via Zizi. This, she said, leads to the presumption under Section 50 of the MACC Act that Bong Mokhtar is considered to have received the sum as an inducement for obtaining the Finance Ministry's approval for a 150 million ringgit investment by Felcra in public mutual unit trusts. The 2 will give sworn evidence from the witness stand, giving the prosecution an opportunity to cross-examine them. The defence plans to call 10 witnesses, including the pair. The court fixed September 23rd for them to begin their defence. Bong Mokhtar, who is the MP for Kinabatangan, is charged with 2 counts of receiving bribes as gratification to obtain Felcra's approval to make the unit trust investment. He is also charged with receiving a cash bribe from public mutual investment agent Nohaili Ahmad Mokhtar under Zizi's name for the same reason. His wife faces 3 charges of abetting him. Battersea Power Station is set to open its doors to the public for the first time in history from October 14, 2022. The development is owned by Sime Darby Property, SB Setia and the Employees Provident Fund. Battersea Power Station Development Company said Electric Boulevard, a new pedestrianised high street which runs from the south of the power station between Frank Gary's Prospect Place and Foster & Partners Battersea Roof Gardens to the new Battersea Power Station Zone 1 underground station will also open on the same day. It's been almost 40 years since Battersea Power Station's lights were switched off, and now the iconic landmark is back and expected to become one of London's most exciting retail and leisure destinations. According to the company, the building's retail offering is housed in the power station's two newly restored turbine halls. It said Turbine Hall A reflects the lavish Art Deco glamour of the 1930s when the power station was built, whereas Turbine Hall B, which was completed in the 1950s, has more of an industrial look and feel. Over 2,500 new jobs will be created once the doors to the power station open, with a total of 17,000 jobs once the entire 42-acre project is completed. SNS Network technology made a modest debut on the ACE market of Bursa Malaysia today, as it saw a mere 6% premium against its listing price of 25 sen. The counter had traded between 23 sen and 27 sen intraday, with a total volume of 368.14 million shares. The stock, which was the most active on the stock exchange, opened flat at 25 sen and ended the day at 26 sen. The group, which is principally involved in the sale of information and communications technology products, has raised 90.7 million ringgit from the listing exercise. SNS Network Managing Director Koh Yun Hong said the group believes there are many opportunities in the commercial segment of the local market, including government agencies and educational institutions, with digitalization plans for hybrid working arrangements and e-learning options as the pandemic eases. This segment is SNS Network's core revenue generator, having contributed 70% of its top line in the past 4 years. For FY22, SNS Network's profit after tax stood at 35.92 million ringgit on revenue of 1.11 billion ringgit. Rakuten Trade, which has rated SNS Network a buy with a target price of 36 sen, said it expects the group to register net earnings of 31.8 million ringgit for FY23 and 38.8 million ringgit for FY24.